Where are we in the cycle? Where is crypto in the cycle? Now, from my perspective, 2 months ago, everyone was like, I can't wait for the bear market because the cycle's almost over. So everyone thought the decline in September was it. And I don't know, I really wasn't disagreeing, but frequently, as Forrest work taught me, frequently there's a blow off top at the end. Now I'm listening to people tell me that perhaps this cycle, there is no cycle, right? There is no spoon. First it was over. Now it's not over. And then it's never going to be over. So the question is, where are we in the cycle and how do you move about in November, December, and January? I gave you like the old-fashioned equities version where it's kind of like buy the winners, sell the losers, and then sort it out in January. Forrest, I know you got thoughts on this, so why don't you take it away on that and tell us what you're thinking about the cycle as best you can?
Yeah. So personally, from how I'm actually managing my portfolio, I'm trying to operate under the assumption that we will get some sort of blow off top or peak in December, so that I'm actually making sure I'm taking profits and paying myself in December, and we can reassess the market along the way in different chunks of time as time moves on and we have more data. We can then reassess the market, but I need to make sure that I pay myself before year end, because from some analysis that I've done and just some theories that I have, like I've gone back and looked, and this is anecdotal. I haven't pulled hard data sets, but just looking at the S&P 500 and looking at the stock market over the last 30, 40 years, when you have a big bullish year where you start in January and it's only up and it's a nice smooth, pattern of the S&P 500, the stock market doing well for the entire year with minimal damage, minimal dips along the way, usually you get some sort of instability in the market in the first quarter of the next year. At least that's what I found from my analysis. And my theory, and again, we're moving into this gray area of speculation, and not as hard of a scientific approach here. But my speculation is that has to do with either your theory of kind of padding the books a little bit, making sure that you bought the winners and you sold off some losers, but also for tax implications. Because if you bought in January, and we saw a lot of volume come into the crypto market in January, February, March, if you were investing in those first 3 months in terms of long-term capital gains, you kind of have to hold until January, February, March. But as soon as January, February, March come around, you can sell at a gain and pay and not pay long-term capital gains tax. There's also a lot of uncertainty with what long-term capital gains tax and even short-term capital gains tax will look like. I'm sorry, if you sell in after a year, you won't have to pay short-term capital gains tax. You'll be in the long-term bracket. There's also a lot of instability as far as what's going to happen with short-term and long-term capital gains tax in the future with the current administration in office. So do you want to take profits now in December and eat the short-term capital gains tax, but actually have certainty about what that tax rate's going to be, versus sit on it and wait for potential regulation to pass in future years or in 2022? Not only that, I just think there's going to be a lot of NFT negative sell pressure, and I'm very bullish on the NFT and the metaverse. Let me back up and make that very clear. I do think the NFT market, especially when Coinbase drops their NFT marketplace and brings NFTs to millions of people, I think the NFTs are going to go crazy. But think about all the NFTs out there that are either illiquid, or you bought them at 5 Ethereum and now they're worth 1 Ethereum, or they've gone to 0. What do you do in December to reduce your tax burden for April? You can sell that NFT that you're underwater on. You bought it for 5 ETH. You can sell it for 0. Now, all of a sudden, the 25 grand profit you made on Solana this year, poof, you don't have to pay taxes on it. It offsets, right? Because you harvested a loss on your NFTs And now that counts against the profits the capital gains that you made on Solana. So I think there's going to be a lot of harvesting of losers in December. So projects that may not have done well this year and not participated might get hammered harder, right? So personally, I do think there could be some instability in the market. Now, whether that's a full-on, and I'll share my screen here for just a moment, because I like to share this chart, and let me know if you guys can see this, right? Whether that is just a short-term correction in Q1, right? And then it's followed by another rally into the rest of 2022. Yeah, that may be the case. Or it could be a total return to this trend line. It could be a total return all the way back down from some sort of blow off top in January or February, even December, even earlier, right? What I want to make sure that I'm doing is that I'm paying myself. And am I going to abandon my entire portfolio and just get completely out? Well, not unless we just go nuts. Not unless we get to a risk premium that we can't sustain moving forward, or that I don't believe that we can sustain moving forward. But more than likely, if we continue this trend up and we get to a $5 or even $7 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap valuation by December, January, February, I'm going to be paying myself along the way. I'm going to be making sure that I've secured profits. I've secured a profitable year. I'm going to pay taxes on those profits. And I'm going to not subject myself or my entire crypto portfolio to a return back down to this trend line. Because a return back down to this trend line is pretty devastating. It's pretty devastating, especially if it's from, a high valuation. That's 79 to 80%. That means most altcoins and NFT projects go to zero. That means Ethereum and Bitcoin see 60, 70% drawdowns, right, in a bear market. That's what happened back in 2017. It's what happened in the previous market cycle before that. And it's what nobody thinks is going to happen. They say it's different this time. It's different this time. Well, when you get a big blow off top and we see a lot of money come into the space all at once, it incentivizes profit taking. There's some instability, and all of a sudden everybody's getting liquidated and it crashes back down to the trend line, and you're in a bear market for a year or two. It's just how it's worked in the past. And while it may be different moving forward, and it's not guaranteed, history is not guaranteed to repeat itself, I'm going to operate under the assumption that there's a strong chance it will. And I'm going to treat my portfolio accordingly. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Went into the matrix there. When I cut back over to the studio view, it just boom. But I'm gonna cut it back over to Bill and stop sharing my screen here.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.